With LSU on the scheduled last game of the season for the Oklahoma Sooners, looking to get their first 10-win season with Brent Venables as head coach in the SEC, let's talk about just what needs to happen past winning the game for Oklahoma to make the college football playoff, and how badly would they need to beat this LSU team if it comes down to statement time. What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. What do you think it's going to take for Oklahoma to get into the college football playoff that it can control? And by that, I mean this game against LSU is the only thing it can control. And seeing as this selection committee doesn't seem to value wins and losses the way you and I do, but seems to also value the kind of play, the style of play, and the scoring margin a little bit more than either of us do, I'm really asking this question. What do you think the margin of victory would need to be for Oklahoma against LSU to say, oh yeah, that's a college football playoff team that is worthy of an at-large bid on par with Oregon in the Big Ten, or even Michigan if they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten? This is what I think the argument is going to come down for this Sooners team, which has had a remarkable season, really has. And it has been a very much maligned and or tried Brent Venables football team. I think this might be my favorite team that Brent Venables has coached that has not won a national championship, because I feel that way. I won a national championship. I won a national championship as a damn adult, man. Like, it's been 26 years since the last time Oklahoma won a national championship. And for the last decade and a half, 2 decades and a half, it feels like Oklahoma's been right there. And getting into the tournament resets the clock and allows you to really go make it go, in this case for the Sooners, 4 games to win the national championship. So they're going to face LSU. LSU is going on the road with this one, and it is not the same LSU team that they faced last year. And I'm sure that's going to be on a lot of Oklahoma fans' minds, but it's not even the same LSU team we thought we saw earlier this year. Remember, LSU at one point was ranked number 3 in the country and was supposed to be in the spot that Ole Miss is occupying or Georgia's occupying as one of those teams that with 11 wins is going to get in the college football playoff, whether or not they can play in the SEC championship game. And after getting thumped the way they did by A&M, separating with Brian Kelly, like you understand, right? It's a totally different football team. It's a totally different program. It's also one that hasn't had Garrett Nussmeier for the last few games. And he might be able to go against LSU against Oklahoma this weekend. But I can't say that that's going to make a big deal, because the Garrett Nussmeier that we've seen this season, it's not the one we saw last season. Even got the hook from Michael Van Buren there late, and Michael Van Buren has been fine. Played like a guy that started at Mississippi State a couple times last year. And against Western Kentucky, it was a little too touch and go for your mans to think that this LSU team is one for which you can count on to be a quality victory alongside those of top 25 SEC opponents. Like, this victory might measure up with South Carolina, right? The one that Oklahoma got against them. It's not going to measure up with even, at the time, number 22 Missouri. Certainly not that top 25 Tennessee team or that number 4 Alabama team. So it might come down to you need to make a statement. And making a statement with LSU's best available players, even with an interim coach, might mean something more to this committee. I think it's kind of interesting to note that John Mateer has outpassed Garrett Nussmeier this year, throwing for 226 a game to Garrett Nussmeier's 214. I wouldn't have put that on the docket even with John Mateer when he was playing at a Heisman level. Like, I just didn't think that Garrett Nussmeier would be the kind of guy that was averaging fewer than 300 passing yards per game, given what they had with the offense and given how much we expected that offense to take flight this year. It's just been kind of unsettling to see that. More unsettling for me is Caden Durham just been nowhere, right? Maybe he can go against Oklahoma. Maybe it matters. But the way that Brent Venables' defenses have been playing, it might not. And that's another outstanding guy for them. Aaron Anderson might be able to come back. We'll see. But is that going to be enough? I'm sure that if Nick Anderson lines up across from Oklahoma, there's going to be no love lost there. Everybody's going to be coming for his head. Like, that's just how these things go. Berrien Brown can still outrun, I think, every defensive back that Oklahoma has. If he gets behind you and they can hit it deep, that's a problem. That's one of the fastest players in all of college football. And Isaiah Satanga is very much that guy for OU. Same thing can be true. That LSU defense is on par with Oklahoma talent-wise and with its coordinator. Blake Breaker is one of the best in the business. And when they're at full strength, they're really difficult to score on. And if they get Whit Weeks back again, because they limited his snaps last week, but it feels like he's going to go, we're talking about really just Mansour Delane, and then you're back to full strength, or so it seems, right? So strength of LSU is its defense. Strength of Oklahoma is its defense. One has been playing really great football against better competition, but this expect it to be a low-scoring game, which is why I think it's kind of funny that our friends at MyBookie have made this into a 10-point spread. I mean, Oklahoma's going into this as a 10-point favorite, and if you're thinking that that's might be too much for this Oklahoma team that doesn't seem to score much at all and really needs the defense to show up, maybe you want to place a wager. And if you do, use my promo code. It's RJ Young, all caps, all one word. Go there, you place a wager, you use the promo code, and if you miss, you get your money back in the form of a bet back bonus token up to $500, and you get to play again. Again, I just don't see this game being one that is high scoring. That's difficult for me to really. I can't get there. I can't get the over under on this 38.5. Like, I was just checking to make sure I was right about this, and that seems like a lot, right? I mean, 38.5. You're looking at maybe 21-18 being the score. With these two teams not scoring much and Oklahoma's defense all of a sudden learning how to take the ball away, it's not as if they couldn't, but they just weren't coming. Now they seem to be coming right when they need to be. And Oklahoma's peaking as a defense right when it needs to be. And this is without R. Mason Thomas the last two games, been out with a quad injury. Maybe he can go in this one, maybe he can't, but it makes a strong defense even stronger. And guys like Taylor Wine and Owen Heineke and Peyton Bowen, Eli Bowen, been playing their behinds off without that dude. I can't say enough good things about Kip Lewis and the kind of linebacker that he has been for Oklahoma this year. On the par with what Whit Weeks means to this LSU defense. I'm also wondering if we can expect the passing attacks to feature at all in these. Like, the problem with Ben Arbuckle's offense, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the comments that feel the same way, is there doesn't seem to be anything that John Mateer can run in it outside of levels routes and vertical routes. There's not anything that we think is going to really get into RPO, which feels like John Mateer might be good at. You're not going to have your general gap schemes. They don't run a lot of GT counter. And they don't really trust those three offensive linemen who happen to be freshmen on the line. I just keep expecting someone other than Isaiah Satanga and Jarrett Kanik to be able to make big plays for this offense. Giovanni Gibson did. And I think, they ran RPO to score that touchdown. So I take it back. It just didn't been clicking, right? It's not the offense that we expected to see. But then again, I go back and watch Washington State tape, and it's basically John Mateer running around when people are backing off and him throwing a butt naked open wide receivers when they're not. You just ain't going to have that in the SEC all that much. And he's been playing the kind of football that I think, if we were being real honest about it, this is fine. It's not good. It's fine. He's not throwing the ball to other people. He's also not throwing for 1,000,000 yards. That's okay with the kind of defense that Oklahoma's played. So again, I go back to the question. What does the score need to be for Oklahoma to have a dominant win here, one that people look up and go, yeah, that's one of the 12 best teams in the country? I think blanking this LSU team is a good start. One score, you allow one score, that's a good start. You win this game 24-10, that's good enough. You win it 24-3, I think other people are going to look up. But the more points you can score and the bigger the margin is for Oklahoma, the better. That's just what it is right now, man. It's going to have to wait for Texas A&M. Going to have to see if Mississippi State can upset Ole Miss at a time when it feels like all Lane Kiffin is doing is creating a distraction for his team. We're going to have to see if Michigan can actually beat that Ohio State team, a team that Oklahoma beat earlier in the year, but a team that in Michigan that's gotten better throughout the year. Will they value that win that Oklahoma had against Michigan in Norman the way that they might value that win that Michigan would have at home against Ohio State? Probably not. Maybe they should. Maybe they shouldn't. And on down the line, right? The more I look at this, Indiana's not going to lose to Purdue. I just don't see that one, man. I would be absolutely shocked to find out that Purdue upset Indiana. But even so, they're going to get in the college football playoff. You need help, right? And you need help in the form of to feel secure about this. You need help. I think Oklahoma gets in on the merits. I really do. I think the Big 12 champ is going to get in. That'd be about it. The ACC champ's going to get in. That'd be about it. One of the reasons you probably need to go to a 2014 playoff. But if Oklahoma gets to 10 wins, it should be academic at that point. But remember, Oklahoma's playing for everything this weekend. And this game is as big as any other on the schedule for Sooners fans and LSU fans playing for, or LSU players playing for Frank Wilson. I get it, but also not having the best season. Maybe they won't be up for the job. But if they find themselves in a one-score game there late, everybody's going to be looking to win it.